Hello, friend. Welcome to 10 Bestest, where we sift through the noise so you don't have to. I'm Karen McFarlane-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Today, I'm going to tell you about the dark triad.
And I'm going to share my new secret ingredient in the kitchen. Let's get to it.
My cool sheet has to do with psychology, and I will be talking about the dark triad. Imagine two types of people. Type 1 is selfish, dishonest, hostile, and cold. Type 2 is generous, honest, friendly, and warm. Which one do you like better? Which one would you pick to be your boss, friend, or partner? Okay, most of us would, of course, choose type 2. And there lies the paradox. If most people prefer type 2, why do so many successful, well-connected, and powerful people fall into the category of type 1? That is the question that is posed in an article. I'll have 2 articles that will be posted for you to read more about and learn more about the dark triad. This paradox can be understood through this concept of the dark triad. This is a term used in psychology that I first learned about from a podcast, All in the Mind, former cool sheet. I shared it in episode 213. After being introduced to it, I started to do some more research that I'm sharing with you now. The dark triad refers to 3 aversive yet functional personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Narcissism consists of dominance, motivation, a sense of entitlement, and perceived superiority that is combined with intolerance to criticism. Machiavellianism, this includes facile social charm, deceitful behavior aimed at undermining others, and a reliance on manipulation. Psychopathy, on the other hand, shows itself in low or absent empathy, high impulsivity, heartless social attitudes, and interpersonal hostility. Taken together, the most powerful tendency underlying all 3 dark triad traits is a knack for exploiting others. The 2 articles that I've included in our links not only explains each of the dark triad traits in more depth, but it also goes through ways to identify people with those traits. It also has a quiz you can take to learn about yourself and to what degree you might have those traits. We all have a little bit of something negative, right? And other very useful discussions. I highly recommend learning more about the dark triad.
Okay, this is so cool. So as you were talking about it, I'm like, wait, I've heard about this too, just recently. I'm like, this sounds so familiar. Yes. And I'm like, oh yes, because I finally listened to the podcast All in the Mind.
Oh,
and
yes.
I listened to that one after yours. I did listen to yours first, where you're mentioned in there. Right. But then, just like I promised, and then I listened to the the Machiavellian one, which talked a lot, kind of like you said, just tease this dark triad. Yeah. I love that podcast though, and I'm glad to dive deeper now because I also was super intrigued by that one because I have heard that I think that very early on it was talked about the business leaders and things, and they just called them psychopaths, and then they were like, no, that's actually not true. Not many of them are actually psychopaths. No. They do have some of those traits. I talked more about it, but I like that because it seemed extreme to me that it was just like a lot of leaders are psychopaths. It kind of made sense to me once I learned what a psychopath was. But this gives you more kind of reasoning behind it, what it means, and why they're also tend to be very successful.
Exactly.
It's super interesting, kind of scary as well.
It is a little bit, but it is interesting looking at it. I'm like, I've done that before, because we all have a little bit of it.
Yeah.
So, and I think Machiavellianism is probably the least known. I'm just guessing, but it's based on Machiavelli, the author, Italian author, who wrote a book called The Prince. And there are a lot of theories based on politics and coming from that. So that's kind of where the leadership comes in, and the way to be charming, to get your way, and things that do work with leadership roles and power. Yeah,
because it's not all just dark and selfish. That charming part is a big part of it.
Yes.
And that's why they can seem like they're very charismatic and all those things.
Exactly.
And it's there's other stuff going on.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for
You're welcome. And all these links you can find at 10bestest.com/space.
All right, I am going to be talking about this spice, and it is Tajin. And if you can see it on YouTube, this is what the bottle looks like. This is my new secret weapon. So first of all, I want to talk about my own experience with this. So when I was working for Roth's, which is a local grocery chain here in Salem, I would travel once in a while and work at different ones. And I worked at the Woodburn store once, and my produce manager at the time was like, hey, do you want to get blown away? I'm going to put this on an apple. And he put the spice on an apple, which seemed weird because it has chili peppers, lime, and salt. And he put it on an apple, and I was like, whoa, magical. Like, it's so amazing. And I kept thinking about it for years. I kind of forgot what it was, and I didn't know where to get it. And then I found it again, and it's Tajin. It is still magical to this day. So the company was born in December 23rd, 1985. And like I said, it's a tasty blend of mild chili peppers, lime, and sea salt. Then, thanks to great success in the Mexican market, the brand was first exported in the US in 1993. And this is actually about the time where I tasted it. Now, thanks to success in the Mexican markets, it was exported in 93, like I said, and then kind of grown in popularity after that. And today, Tajin is in 30 countries in the world and a leading brand in Mexico and the United States. So, this is so good. Seriously, it's such a cool secret weapon. It can go on savory or sweet items, and the sweet is kind of where the magic really happens, because you wouldn't think chili peppers would work for sweet stuff, but it totally does. So on fruits, it's super good. On ice cream, it's amazing. On popcorn, anything really though. And of course, savory stuff. Definitely, if you haven't tried it, check it out. Tajin.
Does this go in line with adding chili peppers to chocolate, like having that
Yeah, it has that same idea for sure.
Yeah,
so have you ever had it?
No, I
So we're
going
to try it. If you've had it on YouTube, or if you're watching this on YouTube, the podcast I'll just describe. So I'm taking some apple slices, and just like I had, so this is how I first had it with the Woodburn store. But so it's this, I don't know, describe what you're feeling. Like, do you like it? First of all, do you like it?
Yes.
It's definitely.
I feel like I need more.
Yeah, you need more.
Okay.
I was kind of being like a little sparse in case it was like too much,
really?
But
okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay. Don't shake it up.
Okay.
A little more. Here we go. A little more.
Do it. Do it. Okay.
It's just amazing, and the more you like start to put it on things, and you start to crave it.
Yeah, it's like, so.
It's not super spicy.
It's not.
First of all.
I'm a wimp with spices, but like the salt does a magical thing with the spice. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So it accentuates the sweet fruitiness of the fruit of the apple, but then that spice kind of kicks in, and then there's lime, so it's got a little sour. So, we've talked about like salt, fat, acid, and heat. This is like covers a lot of it all at once.
Yeah.
And it just makes things, on popcorn, but you just need a little bit for popcorn. Sprinkle it in when you make your homemade popcorn, which is form a cool sheet. I love that. And ice cream. So there's an local ice cream shop here in Salem that makes really amazing ice cream, and that's one of the toppings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's what actually kind of reintroduced me to it. I'm like, oh, that's what I've been remembering. And as soon as I heard the name, I was like, oh, that's it. That's what I've been missing in my life for so long. And in fact, I have a bottle for you if you would like some. So you can try it and test more out and try it on different things.
Immediately after I ate that piece of apple, I was like, okay, I need to find out where I can get this because I want to get it right away.
Luckily, you can of course get it on Amazon, but a lot of local grocery stores and bigger chains have it. So they have a link on their website, store locator. And they have different flavors. This is kind of the original, and I still have been liking the original. They do have hotter versions if you want. They're actually making hot sauce now, which I'm...
it does have a little thermometer.
Yeah, and it's got I think it's the wimpiest one, right?
Yeah.
And they have they have a habanero one, it's probably the hottest one, and I think they have an in-between. But it's so cool. Yeah, it's so delicious.
Thank you
You're very welcome.
Teaching me about it, for letting me try it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yay.
I'm kind of surprised, actually. And
now
thank you for gifting me this. This is amazing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so to learn more about Tajin and everything else we've been talking about, you can go to 10bestest.com/space. Thank you for joining us, friend. I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Let us know in the comments, had you ever heard of Machiavellianism before?
And let us know, have you ever experienced the magic of Tajin?
If you're enjoying the show, please give us a like and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another great show.
And don't forget to stay curious.